What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Toytography Live. It's so great to see you guys, and thank you so much for being here. As you can see, I'm here alone. I don't have Dan to join me, but I mean, hey, we got the best right here. I mean, you can't get any better than this. So everyone, I want to say hello to Johnny, better known as Sergeant Banana, sir. How you doing?
Good, good. Thanks for having me.
Great.
Yeah, excited to be here.
Nice, man. I've been super excited to have you on here because man, uh um it's just been cool seeing all your new photos since the last time I interviewed for the magazine and just
Oh,
seeing all the stuff. It's just like yeah, it's been absolutely great. So
oh.
yeah, yes, he's in the basement. So you see, I'm already excited. Yeah.
Do you think that's
Yes,
air breathing?
yes, man. It's always excited to see some. I mean, when you got legends, man, it's like when people see your work and everything, it's just like, yeah, it's
He's
something like
looking at
that,
both of them because I have that background blur because I don't want people to see my garage. No, it's
right,
okay. But yeah, it's just like it's just
right,
garage. It's not exciting, at least to me.
yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, yes. Oh, and hey, we got Jesse here. What's
What's up,
going on, sir?
Jesse?
Glad you guys able to join us, man. Yeah, we got some fun stuff set up for this episode. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna give you guys some updates on what's going on with toytography, just in general. And then we're gonna be taking a look at some photos later, which it's. I mean, man, you have an expert right here that's gonna take a look at these photos. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. And so yeah. Before we get started with this, I got to give some props to some folks who are helping to make all of this possible. So let me bring this up right now. I think I have them, yes, right here. So definitely first want to give a shout out to Jazz Inc. They are currently still taking pre-orders for the new Catwoman figure, and like I said, this figure, I'm super excited about this one because Jazz Inc. just puts a lot of detail in their figures. So there are three different versions that you can get. You can get the clean version of the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman, or you can get the battle damage version, or there's a third set where you can get all three. Where I'm sorry, you get both figures, including which I want to mention also this cool diorama that goes along with it. So yeah, it's definitely a cool pre-order. You guys want to jump in? So go to jazzinkdioramas.com and you can go ahead and put your pre-order for that. There's also some other cool stuff that they are taking pre-orders for. It looks really nice, including Penguin as well. So you guys definitely want to jump on that. It's some cool stuff. We also want to give props to Odd Frog Entertainment. They're actually taking pre-orders right now for the Bandito. This is the 112 scale customizable car, and I mean I've seen the number of pictures of this, and it's just like I've talked to the guys, and actually they've shown me some other photos that they have of some other things that are coming. So it's gonna be some nice surprises. But just to have a cool customizable car that's 112 scale where you can really, I mean, just design it however you want and get all some good shots with it. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. So you can go to ifrogentertainment.com and get a pre-order, or you can go to Nerdzoic and you can pre-order the car there as well. And lastly, we want to give a shout out to 1/6 Kit for all your 112 scale, 1/6 scale figures, diorama pieces. They're just, I mean, they have all kinds of really cool stuff. Great customer service. I mean, Kid is just a hilarious guy to do business with. So he's just absolutely great. But he is so informative on whatever it is that you need. Any pre-orders, anything that's going on, he definitely fights for the customers when it comes to having that connection with those developers that are making the figures and everything. So it's just a great company to do business with. So definitely head over to 1/6 Kit and look up some good stuff that we have there. So next thing we're gonna move on to is I want to let you guys know what's going on with Toytography all together. So we have the new issue, the December issue of Toytography magazine, that is still available right now. You can either get a digital copy at Amazon, or you can go to our website and you can go to toytographymag.com, and you can either get the digital copy or the printed copy. So that's available right now, and we are also taking pre-orders for the March issue. Uh, I gosh, I have to say I'm super excited about it because of the person that we have set up for the March issue, as well as a new diorama build that we're going to have featured in that issue. So we definitely have some cool stuff set up for you guys. So you definitely want to jump on that. The other thing I want to mention, this week is the last week to get in your submissions for the Toytography Challenge. That is the Toytography contest that we have going on. We're taking submissions for contestants right now. We have actually already made some selections, but we still have some spaces available. So if you want to get a submission in, definitely get it in there, and we'll take a look at your profile, because that's the one thing that we are asking for, is that you send us your Instagram or some kind of profile that we can see your photos to see if you're a good fit for the Toytography Challenge. But yeah, it's already shaping up. I have some big surprises that I have to finalize it first before I can mention the other things that are going to be part of the Toytography Challenge. And oh my gosh, I'm excited with all the information that I got just yesterday and today. I'm super excited about it. So yeah, if you have your time, the 19th is the deadline to go to Toytography Mag / challenge and just put in your information, and we'll take a look at your profiles. And if you're a good fit, we will reach out to you and get you set up. So yeah, there's still some spaces available for that. But yeah, it's all I can say is the Toytography Challenge is not your typical toy photography contest. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say about it. It's everything that you possibly have seen before in a toy photography contest. This is a whole new spin. Okay, so whatever you think about when it comes to toy photography contests, this is I would say it's a fraction of that, but so much more. Also, I will say there is a cash prize that we will have set up for the Toytography Challenge. I'm still finalizing what that is going to be, but I will say it will not be like some little $50 gift card. Okay, we definitely going to be going more than that. No Amazon gift card or nothing like that. I mean, it is going to be a significant prize for the winner of the Toytography Challenge. So yeah, it's going to be something that you do not want to miss. Even if you are not part of the challenge, we will make it available so that you can watch the challenge and be able to see it and see it happen for everybody. So you do not want to miss it. It is going to be absolutely fantastic. This is our next segment of our show where we talk about any new things that we got. So, Johnny, I'm gonna start with you, man. Do you have any new stuff you got this week? New gear or anything?
Yeah, I'll show off a figure and then some gear. So one of each.
Okay, okay, all
So
right. What you got?
new figure I just got is this Clark Kent. Sorry for the blur, but
Oh,
let's see.
okay.
There we go. Okay.
Okay,
So
okay.
this is 1/12 scale. This is actually the special edition version of this figure. There's another one where he's in the traditional iconic blue suit, which I will show you right now.
Okay. Okay, okay.
So this is made by Muff Toys, and I
Right,
believe they're a company from overseas in China or something or other. And
right.
really well done figure, really fun. good amount of accessories, and the body that they used is hyper articulated as well. So it's just
Yes.
there's a lot of possibilities there. And then I don't know if you've seen like his shirt opens and he's got the Superman underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he comes with like a bend, like an extra tie that has a wire through it, so you can like,
Right.
all
Right.
that fun stuff that you would want. He kind of comes with. So yeah, it's a great figure.
I didn't know it was two different versions of the figure that they released. Wow.
Yeah, so initially they put up the one for the blue suit, and then
Hey,
like that's the standard release, and then pretty close to the actual release of the figure, they showed pictures of that brown suit one, and there's going to
oh,
be like a limited thing, and then I was able to get one, and so yeah, I have both. I got the blue
wow.
one first, and then I was like, I already had bought the brown one, but I was like, okay, good, good. Like this is a good figure, because sometimes with like these kind of like third party companies, it
Yep.
can be very hit or miss, and
Yes.
when it hits, it's like real good usually, and when it misses, it's real not good.
Right. Right.
So thankfully, this was it's a very very good release, very good figure. Recommend it to anyone that's looking to.
Yeah, actually, that was the other thing I was gonna mention because I did get mine as well.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, yeah. So good. I'm glad you have the trench coat on there because both of
Yeah,
mine have theirs on. But yeah,
yeah.
trench coat. Yeah.
So I spent quite a bit of time on it yesterday because the only thing that it does not have is it does not have a wire in the belt for the trench coat.
Uh,
So I actually took the time to put a wire in uh,
oh, yeah.
last night so that
There you
I
go.
can really get some better shots with
Yeah.
him and everything.
Yeah.
Uh, I have to say though when I saw I knew you had recently got the figure because I saw the picture that you posted of him
Mhm.
running. I was like, oh, he got it. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
those great shots.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. It's like it doesn't happen all the time for me, but like I get figures pretty often, like all of us collectors probably do, and then sometimes you get something and then it just sits for a little while. But like this one, when it came in, I was like, I just knew that I was pretty much gonna shoot it right away.
Yeah,
And, yeah, it ended up working out. I did that one photo. I don't know if you saw where he's like on the subway. He's like, yeah. So that was like the
yes,
first one, and then yeah, of course I had to do the like, he's going to work basically.
right, right,
Yeah.
right,
Um,
right.
so yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
that was one of the best. It's like because I was just thinking like, man, I I had to get it because normally I'm 1'6".
Mhm.
So when I
Yeah.
saw it, I was like, oh, dude, I gotta do it. I gotta get it because that's the one type of figure that you rarely see is a Clark Kent figure, with the S on the inside. I was actually talking to another photographer just the other day, and the one thing that now comes to mind when I was putting like when I made a photo of a 1/6 scale Superman doing the same thing, but
Mhm.
the problem I ran into was the cape. So it just made me think like, man, when he's not Superman, where does the cape go?
Yeah. That's
you know,
that's a
it's
yeah.
like where is it hide? It's like it's not bulging in the back. So
That's an interesting thought.
you know, yeah, it's like so weird because that's what I had to do. That's why when I took the picture, I can only get him from the waist up because the cape was coming down past him. That's a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that's the thing
That's
that
funny.
we're thinking about.
Yeah.
What's going on, Lou? Man, thank you for joining us, dude. It's
Okay.
glad to see that you are here. Rogue One, hello, hello. Oh yes, Bob is here, man. Bob Dillis, thank you for joining us, man. You guys are the absolute best. Thanks for coming in. So actually, I have I will say because I just snapped them
I got
just
one
the other
more
day.
thing.
Oh, you got the. Oh, that's right. What?
Got
See,
one.
yeah, yes. What else you
Yeah.
got?
So in this day and age in like toy photography, everybody is using a smoke machine.
Yeah.
But I think that I haven't. I mean, I've used this effect, and I don't know if anybody else has yet. But so this is made by the company PMI. This is their Smoke Ninja Pro.
Okay.
A lot of people probably back the Kickstarter for the Smoke Ninja, the original Smoke Ninja. They also have their Pro model, the Smoke Genie. I've been
Mm-hmm.
using the Smoke Genie for years now, and then became a big fan of it. I backed the Smoke Ninja, and then recently got this Pro, the Smoke Ninja Pro. One of the cool features that they came out with recently is this bubble machine. So
Okay.
right here, this big piece right here is a
Yeah.
fan, and this is for like if you want to create haze and atmosphere stuff like that. That's what that's for. But this little attachment here on the end is for the bubbles. And here I'll show you.
Okay.
So it comes with like its own bubble formula fluid. So
Okay.
basically, so you can create like a big
Oh my
smoke
gosh.
bubble. So I'll do two different. So you got this big one here, and it's gonna, you can. So
Oh my
it's
gosh, man. That
you can
is
make like
wow.
a smoke bomb now.
Wow.
If you don't, if you turn this fan on, it'll start to shoot them out like this, like
Oh,
and they're filled with smoke as well. So
jeez.
it's a cool, unique thing that they did. It's genius, right? When you see it, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
So you can, I don't know, it just like gets you kind of thinking of like how you can like implement that into like an idea or something or other, and it's just actually just cool to look at too, to be honest.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Uh,
Right.
so if you have a Smoke Ninja or a Smoke Genie, you can pick up this haze fan. It's relatively cheap, and then also like the nozzle and the bubble formula is pretty inexpensive as well. Um,
Okay. So
yeah,
it's actually so there's two separate pieces that you can't like get them together.
yeah.
You have
So
to
like the fan
okay.
comes in its own thing. It just connects right to the top of the Smoke Ninja, and then it
Okay.
has like, so actually what's cool about this one is it's Bluetooth, so it connects directly to the machine. So
Oh wow.
when if you have the remote and you're pressing it, it
Yeah.
automatically kicks on. So the fan automatically kicks on, so you automatically start to get that haze. And then it has three different speeds as well. So it's like a one, two, three. So three being the fastest
Wow.
speed. Um, to be honest, like in my own work, this thing is on pretty much all the time. It doesn't come off really. Like I like the atmosphere and the haze. If you follow my work, you would probably
Yeah.
know that or have noticed that by now. So I'm a big fan of that. No pun intended.
Right.
uh,
Right.
yeah, it's a great tool to have, and then also like now with the bubble nozzle as well, like it's just even more fun. It's just like an interesting thing. Like I will say though, so I did a photo with, and I wanted to use the bubbles,
Okay.
and I quickly realized like because the way I wanted the photo to be was to have the bubbles like in the air, just like kind of like background, like almost like snow or something, right? But just
Okay.
like otherworldly looking,
Right. Right.
and that's all fine and good. But then when I started doing it, as soon as those bubbles land, poof, and it's just super
Right.
spooky. So it actually was a little bit harder than I thought initially. I hadn't really thought about that, but obviously, yeah, they turn. When they land, they explode, and then it's just smoke.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of a learning experience, but
Right.
ultimately I did get the photo, and I was like, okay, next time, not I know,
Right.
next time I want to do something like that because yeah, it's just I didn't want a super smoky looking photo.
Yes. Yes.
I just wanted it clean with the bubbles. So like every time like I would go, I would have to kind of like clear the smoke out, with the fan, and then like, all right, it doesn't look super hazy anymore. Like
Right.
it looks clean. Okay, here we go. And so like it was
You know,
like
I'm
a reset.
wondering, like, is it possible to maybe? I mean, they would definitely have to, work with your depth of field, but I'm wondering if you could just have the bubbles coming down but go past the surface that you're shooting so
Right.
that they don't explode on the, make on the
Yeah.
impact.
You would just, yeah. So it's also hard. You can't. It's hard to control those bubbles too. Like
True,
you can
yeah.
like you can go up so they come down. They end up falling down, or you go to the side. Whatever you want to do, but
Yeah.
ultimately it kind of, because the fan is kicking them out. So there's the wind, right?
Right, right,
The
right.
wind kind of just shoots them, and then like literally, if there's any other like draft of air in your space,
Mm-hmm.
it'll probably catch that and do whatever it wants with it. So it's hard to
True.
control, is what I'm getting at. And your idea though of having it go past your, that would work. It would just have, you would have to set it up in that way to where.
Yeah. I was thinking like either that or maybe if you had like one of those small vacuums
Oh yeah, to like,
low to the ground, so
yeah,
as soon as it hits, the air just sucks it away.
yeah. So you can direct it. So it's like, yeah, yeah. I see what you
Yeah,
mean.
yeah.
Yeah,
That way it can fall, and as soon as the air or as soon as the smoke just hits the ground, that little vacuum just sucks it away.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's it's just one of those things where it's like a new effect. So with that comes like different challenges and stuff, but it's good.
Yeah.
Like, it's fun. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
just,
See, his folks is looking at your stuff right here. They see. I mean, dude, so man,
cool, man.
I have to mention, dude. There have been there have been people that I have interviewed for the magazine. There are other people that I have talked to, and um, I would say most of the people that I talked to, they were inspired to do toy photography because of you. I mean, literally,
That's
it's
pretty amazing.
your photos, your method, your figures, your posing, your lighting, your diorama pieces. It's something that that is just anywhere that you do that, people are just feeling so inspired by your work, man. And I know there's people out there that faces you haven't seen,
Hmm.
but they are totally inspired by the work that you do, man. So it is definitely just an honor to be able to get the little tips that you have and
Uh,
learn things for your method. So yeah, yeah.
that's like that's amazing to hear. It's inspiring to me to be to be able to inspire others. And I think with like any form of art without inspiration, there isn't any. And so like
Right.
to play a role in someone else's like journey is like, I'm honored.
Yeah.
It's super cool. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's man, you really I it's like I said, you may not be able to hear that from from everyone, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that there's a lot of people that I have talked to that your name comes up constantly. So,
The tested stuff is was a big one. Like I actually like
yeah,
whenever when I do hear or someone does mention it, it usually comes from those videos. And
true.
it's like, it doesn't seem to me, when I think about that, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but it was like 2018, I think, that those
Right,
videos
right.
rolled out. So like it kind of was a little while ago. So like the person, the photographer that I was then is like, when I think back, is different than now, right? Like because you
Right,
just,
right.
as time moves on, like your what you're into changes, and like what you're inspired by, and like you just learn new things, and you kind of just go down different paths. So it's like um, the Rogue One mentioned the Jin Urso shot.
Yes,
It's
yes.
funny, like when I think about that shot, it's like, and I'm sure what I'm about to say will resonate with a lot of us. It's like, man, that's, I'm not, I'm glad you like the shot. I'm not, but that being said, that's so old. Like I'm like looking, I'm like, I'm like, can I do that shot now? Sure, but it's like would be interesting is like if I do it now, it would be a lot different, because the
Yep,
way that I do things and the way that I
yep.
approach my photos is a lot different. So yeah, it's just when I think back to that time, like man, like I thought I knew what I was doing then, and then now I think like, you were doing that. It's like that's what probably resonates with a lot of us, right? Like you think back to
Yeah,
photos, and you're like, man, if I had the skill I have now, I could have done that photo so much better.
right,
Would have did this
right.
different, or I wouldn't have done that. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
part of the
and I
process.
think that's
So
the right, right. So, and that's the thing. It's like sometimes we look at photos that we did in the past, and sometimes it's like we would look at that photos and be like, oh man, I could do so much different stuff with it. So it's like you initially think like, oh, let me recreate that shot, but it's like, no, I don't even want to. It's like I can do
yeah,
a whole lot more with the stuff that
yeah,
I have now, and so and I mean just and that's the great thing about just constantly doing the toy photography because your mind evolves,
yeah,
and then in the middle of evolving, technology evolves,
yeah.
and so it's just like you like the machine you just showed us, like
Oh
with
yeah.
that. It's like, oh man, I could have did that shot with it if I had it during this
Oh,
time.
seriously, like when I first started, like when I was dabbling and doing practical effects, like I got to a point where I'm like, oh, I really want to do something with like smoke or whatever. And like at the time, these handheld smoke machines didn't exist. I mean, yeah, you can get like the traditional fog machines, but those things are huge. And it's like you're not going to be taking that out to location,
Right,
Like first where are you
right,
gonna get the power, and then also it's just like this big thing. So like I remember I bought like a piece of dry ice, and I was like trying
really.
to get I tried to get that to work at the beach, which is
Okay,
like with the wind, it was like it did not happen. So
yeah,
we technology, right? Like as you said, like
right,
if I had this thing back then, I would have been all good to go. I would have been so happy with the result, probably.
yeah,
But it's just part of the journey, and like
yeah,
I look back at that time, and it is kind of funny, but it was an enjoyable time because it was so early. Everything was so new and fresh and like
yes.
exciting. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and that's the other thing. I mean, there are things that I've tried to. I will say I was one of the people who tried it with the fireworks. Uh,
yeah,
I dabbed in it a little bit only because I'm like, man, I got a 1/6 scale figure. I spent almost $300 on this thing. I don't know if I want to
yeah.
set up some fireworks.
We talked about that in the like for
Right,
the
right,
interview, and I remember you saying that, and I completely get it.
yeah,
Still, I understand. Like fire and plastic and cloth don't mix well. Like
right.
it's just,
Right,
yeah,
right. I remember buying like some just like last year. I bought like some little sparklers, and I was like, let me try that thing. And I'm thinking in my head like, oh man, this is gonna look okay. I finally get a chance to try something. Man, it looks so doggone pitiful. I was like, never mind. I'm not even gonna share these things. Like, no, it's so
yeah.
that was my attempt at it.
Mhm.
But yeah, yeah, I was like, I see. Oh, thanks, Rogue. Well, that's what we do, man. I that's the whole point of everything, just so that we can, just take it to another level by promoting everyone else. So yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We got Terry up in here. Oh, hello, sir.
What's
Oh,
up,
this is
Terry?
great. This is good. So, this is like double whammy here. So yeah. So, all right, Roger, you have a good one, man.
All right,
Thanks
see
for
you later, man.
joining us here. Yeah. So man, so I got some. I was trying to since you sat there and was showing off your pictures, man. I have just a few that I took with this Superman. Um, this is just a couple of my photos that I got in here. Uh, oh, okay. So that's quite all right. That's quite all right. It's still good. So this was like one of the quick shots. Which the other thing I like is I like the fact that it came with multiple newspapers.
Yes,
I love the fact that you could use that tool there. So yeah, this was just kind of mess around with working with what I had. So yeah.
You
So,
know, it's funny because in the photo I did on this in the, like the subway cart thing,
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
also I used prune face as well, like it's just
Oh, you
like
did.
of a character. he's like more in the foreground though. You can't see his head or anything, but yeah, just to, add another body to the scene.
Yeah. And that's the
But
thing.
see,
I don't have a whole lot of these guys, so I just you know you work with what you have.
well, yeah. So like, but the Dick Tracy figures do work though. Like for I feel like
Right.
there's suited bodies. Like you can make it work. Yeah.
Yes, and that's the whole thing because they're not like the Gotham by Gaslight figures, which are like
Oh yeah,
period
yeah,
pieces.
yeah, yeah,
You can't exactly do that, but the Dick Tracy figures, yeah, with the suits and stuff, yeah,
yeah. Hmm.
it totally fits. So yeah, that
Yeah.
was my thing. So now we're gonna move on to the critiquing portion of our show. We did have some people who submitted in the Facebook group. So if you guys are not part of the Toytography magazine Facebook group, definitely jump on there because then you'll get a chance to submit your photos that you want to have critiqued. And also, I'm just going to throw in a plug in as well. Please like and subscribe to the channel because that'll definitely help us out. We are inching towards 1,000
Nice.
here subscribers for the channel. So for everyone who's already joined, thank you so much. But yeah, hit that like and subscribe. But yeah, these photos that we're going to take a look at, these were pictures that were submitted by our members in the Toytography Magazine Facebook group. So let's get started, and we will take a look at the photos. And let me see. Do I have it? Yes, I do. Here we go. Here we go. So this one was submitted by Adam. Um, I for me, I personally think that I think the lighting kind of takes away from the photo. It's like the ones in the background, their lighting is almost the same as stuff in the foreground, so you can't really like see the dimensions of it. Plus the wall that's
Hmm.
in the center. So uh, I think perhaps the lighting should have been adjusted on this one. Plus it's like the lighting for the foreground is even all the way back to the wall.
Hmm.
So kind of the same thing that we had mentioned like last week from before. The people really don't need, unless you're trying to draw attention to it, you really don't need to have so much light on that back wall. Just
Hmm.
enough where people can know that it's there. That's about it. But it's kind of, you got to like an even tone with it. So it looks like it's, I don't know if it's the same light for all three. I'm not sure on that. What do you think?
Well, I guess the my first thought is, um, I guess I don't understand the idea, and then that's not a knock. I'm just like,
Right, right.
what is the story that's trying to be told here? Like, I can see the reactions from Mikey and then the other guys, but like,
Mhm.
I just don't understand. So like, I guess I would say that when you're taking photos and you're telling a story, you want to tell it in a clear and precise way. So like, it's immediately understood when the viewer looks at it what's happening, and then like once they're locked into your story and your scene, then they can start to look around and notice any of the other little special details that you've added in. So like, that's the first thing is the story aspect of it for me, and then yes, the lighting that you mentioned too. Like, um, I would just, it feels very flat. Like there's
Yeah,
depth, there's like no depth, so lack of depth, so it feels very flat. Now, I
right.
don't know if this was taken with like a DSLR or just with a phone. I would
Mm.
lean to guess it was with a phone, just because of like how most everything in there is in
It's very
focus.
flat. Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
yeah.
and that's a good call out about the wall too. Like it just like, again, it kind of goes back into the storytelling aspect. It's like, what, like, so the character, I forget the name of the character in the front. I'm not.
Yeah, I know who it is because I
I know it's
recognize
My
it.
Hero. Is it All Might or something like that? Maybe.
I, I think so.
All right. Well, someone's gonna be like, he doesn't even know the name of
I know,
that.
right?
but, but whatever. I know Mikey. That's my
You know what?
guy.
That's
So
the thing. You could put Dick Tracy in the foreground, and it's still kind of like the same. the same thing.
yeah. So like, I guess it's just like when thinking of an idea, I like the part of my process would be what okay, what are they doing? Why are they doing it?
Right,
Then what time in the day is it? And then like
right,
the difference between like that's a room that you would imagine is covered by a roof, right? So the lighting
right.
is going to be different from like you imagine that he's stepping outside and busted through the wall, right? So he's now
Right.
outside. So when I look at this, like the lighting would change, right? As you kind of already mentioned, like in there
Yeah.
would be naturally probably darker in the
Right.
room, right? So it's just, I guess my loose advice would just be to when you're setting up or you're kind of going through your idea to just try to think about these, like ask yourself these questions, because that's something that I've learned to do over the years is like I'll sit, you have your scene set up and you're looking at it and you're like, okay,
Mhm.
like ask yourself like, basically, does this make sense? What
Yeah.
could what would work better? What don't I need? What can I take away? Or what, like, do I need to add something? Do I need to, yeah, just a lot of asking yourself questions, and then like in doing that, you tend to find out things that you're like, oh, I actually don't need this, or maybe I can
Right.
add things. So that would be my advice.
Yeah.
My
So
long-winded advice.
right, and that's the thing that you have to take into account. There are practical things that you have to think about when
Yeah.
it comes to setting up your story, setting up your lighting.
Hmm.
All of those things have to be taken into account, and they just add to the depth of the image. When you
Hmm.
think about those practical things. So yeah. So let's see what we have next. Oh, there's someone else who oh yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
it's
leave something to be desired. Like,
yeah. It's like in this particular instance, I would want to either see no figure at all,
mhm,
or I want to see more of the figure.
yeah,
It just makes it clear as far as like what's going on. So yeah. This next one, oh yeah, I like this one, Dario. I think this is very simple, but man, this is
very
a good
clean.
shot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah. This is
it's easy to digest, right? You look at it,
yes,
you're like, okay, Grogu, and he's in the snow, he's hanging out, nice lighting, the
right.
environment is cool, like literally.
Yes, yeah, right.
Yeah, you look
Yeah,
at it, you immediately get it, you understand the, you know. And I
right.
do want to mention one more thing about the last photo is just that
Okay.
the expressions that they chose are good in terms of like you can tell like there's like, oh, like don't like they chose to use those, so that was a good call
Yeah,
there. Not
right.
given, so good
Yeah.
job on that.
And this
Okay.
is it's almost Kate will make you wonder, like, where is this kid's babysitter? Because Grogu usually has somebody who's watching him.
You just imagine that maybe off to like what would be like my right is like Mandalorian just all standing
Right.
inside or something, or
Yes.
call, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm assuming, considering the time of year that we're in right now, I'm assuming that this is something where they use natural light
Oh yeah.
to get it. So yeah, yeah, I would say this is a good shot for this. So yeah, I would say that Dario did a great job. I like this. I really like this one.
Yeah, clean shot.
Our next one, oh, this is from George. This is a I like this. This actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think this figure is the Star Wars Unleashed figures that they had a while back.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah. So they're like pre-posed, right?
yeah, yeah. I think this was. But yeah, this is. I like this shot too. I think this shot is done really well. I will say though, I knowing how George does his photos. I would say I'm curious to see the behind the scenes for this shot because I guess it's like hard to tell where the lighting uh is coming from. Like where was his angles? Because I know he does a lot of heavy editing
Hmm.
for his shot. So I'm actually just kind of curious to see what the shot was without all of the fire and everything. Because
Hmm.
I like I said I like it. I mean with the flames all around and adding the effect for the blade. I think that's a also a really good job on it. I'm just kind of curious to see what it looked like before all the editing.
Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely action-packed, right? Like, and if it is one of those Force Unleashed figures, then like, you're obviously like, you can only do it is what it is, right? Like he's already
Yeah,
in that. So like, but sometimes, I will say when stuff is like that, it takes out some of the guesswork or thinking like, what do I do? It's like, well, he's already like this, so it's like
right.
gonna do, kind of can't get around that. I guess if I was gonna say something, I would say that like it might have been cool to like where the lightsaber is to add another light, a red light casting like that the
Mhm.
direction from the saber, just to add that kind of realism to it. But other
Yeah.
than that, it's I feel like with how he's posed and like his facial expression and stuff, and like the scene, it does make sense. So
Yes,
yeah.
yeah, and honestly, I can see that when it comes to the lightsaber because it seems like as bright as the lightsaber is, the
Hmm.
flames overtake everything.
Yeah, I mean,
For
they would be battling anyways because flame would be super bright. But like, I guess
True.
I would say like, oh, if you could notice some like red highlighting like on his side and like maybe his leg a little bit, it would have just
Yeah,
added a little, my opinion. Obviously, you don't have to listen to me, but like
true.
since we're critiquing,
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah,
Because I mean, that's the thing. It's like okay, it's just when it comes to lighting, there's so much that adds to the story and tells a story with just the lights. So,
yeah,
like for instance, for this particular image, it just based off of the lighting on Darth Maul,
hmm,
it tells the story of he's actually pretty close to the flames, like
yeah,
they're not far away.
hmm,
So therefore it kind of adds like, okay, is this an explosion that he just caused, something he's stepping out
hmm,
of, or is this a planet that he's on? It's like those kind of things make you
yeah,
wonder because it seems like with the flames, because of the lighting, it seems like the flames are overtaking the legs, but not overtaking the torso from the top.
hmm,
So
yeah. And in terms of like the flames, like I don't know, like if that was edited or if he because it looks like the textures of it, which obviously could have been in post anyways, but like that it was a smoke machine and then like maybe some colored lighting to get that
mm,
effect. So like in the bottom, my right, where it's like
yeah, yeah,
orange, the color of the fire or whatever. It's like that could have just been the color, a light, and then backlit, hit it with some smoke around, and then like you get the textures there around. So it does. What's cool is like now we're kind of I'm kind of like, oh, is that smoke or is it fire or is it like after
right.
explosion and it's kind of like coming through? Like it gets the viewer thinking, which is good too.
Yes,
It's
yes. Which is why that's what I'm saying. I'm curious to see what
behind the
what
scenes.
the
Yeah.
behind the scenes like. What did it look like before all of that stuff? That'll been cool to see.
And, and when
Uh,
you get submissions, do the people that submit ever like say anything, or is it just like they just submit and then you speak on it?
yeah, they. Well, I mean, from now, every now and then, we will have someone who will actually make a comment saying, "This is what the photo. This is what I'm. This is kind of what I was doing in the shot," or they'll tell what they were going for. But there are a lot of times when the photo is just submitted and yeah,
Yeah.
there's no context
Mhm.
to it. So yeah, that'll let you know for anyone who wants to submit a photo for next week or something like that. If you want to add, it'll just it'll help us more when it comes to getting an understanding of what the image is about with the context of everything. But I mean,
Yeah.
clearly when it comes to this, because Jay is always here with the humor with his photo, so he can clearly see the context of this
Yeah.
with JJ and Spider Man going on. So yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know, finally getting his last word in on stuff like.
Yeah.
I will say this does look considering where the figures are placed and the ring, that looks to
Mhm.
be like a pretty small ring. If
It's
you see
funny. I was thinking the same thing. I
the
was like, it looks.
foreground, it's like, dang man, how big is the ring if you see the ropes right there and then you see the rope behind them?
There, but so I don't know what ring that is, but I think it's Bandai has one that's like it's real
Okay.
small, so it might be that one,
Okay.
and therefore that legit really is small.
Yeah.
But it's funny, you got like Doc Brown with the express, again with the
Yeah.
expressions that help tell add to the story of it, where
Right, right, right. And
elements diagram the
that's what
face.
sometimes I would look for that too. I like getting figures that have more than one head sculpt that with different facial expressions because it's like now I can do more. I can do
Yeah,
more with the figures and everything. So yeah, I totally can dig using other figures with these expressions to help tell the story of what's going on. So yeah, this is definitely a good shot with this and good storytelling on this as well. I would say the I actually um I mean from my perspective there are some things that could be done with the lighting in the shot, but I actually think that just the way it is it's also okay because
yeah,
you still have the background kind of dark. It could have been some other image that he used just
uh,
to add to it. He could have only used four figures for the whole shot.
yeah.
So
I guess it kind of goes back to what I was saying with the other photo, with the ninja Mikey and stuff. Is just when it comes to
mhm,
the storytelling aspect, like sometimes you get to a point where you're like, what do I want to show the viewer? What do I feel like I have to have in my photo?
yeah,
So like, I think like the angle, like if maybe it was more level or even like an upward angle, that actually might help with the size of the ring, because
mm,
you might then you could potentially, if you're shooting up, you would miss some of that, and you'll be
yeah,
like, it looks like an extreme sets like behind the two figures. So like, if that's what that is, that thing's pretty tall, so it would automatically feel more opened up and big, like as if
yeah,
someone's watching this like big main event type thing. So
yeah,
that's just kind of, I don't know, like the angle, like I understand the angle because it's like the expression of Jameson is great. Like,
hmm,
take that, Spider-Man. Like,
right,
it's
right,
like that all makes sense. Like, it's all good. But then like he's got Doc, and then I don't remember the other guy's name, but the expression on the other guy is great too. But you
right.
would probably have to sacrifice that a little bit to do what I'm talking about. But then it's like what we just mentioned about how tight it feels, right? Like how
Yes,
small it feels. I guess like I wonder what it would have looked like from a different angle.
yeah.
So
Honestly, if I had something like this, just noticing that, I probably would have just removed the rope
right,
that's in the foreground, just
yeah,
to even if it's a small ring, just by your
yeah.
angle, the viewer doesn't know that,
Or you could shoot
So
through them, even if you have one, like because like you'll
oh, yes,
see
that's
in
right.
in boxing and stuff, like the photographers, you'll see the rope, and it's like it's fine, like it
That's true.
actually in this instance could make it feel more like realistic to like a photographer in the crowd that's taking a photo of the match. Like they're not,
Yes,
they're
that
probably
too.
not going to be like this.
Right.
It's going to be like down a little bit, and they're going to shoot through the ropes and
Very
catch some of
true.
the ropes. Yeah,
Yes, yeah, that makes sense too, because that way it that's like a whole different dynamic because from here, this kind of angle it removes the viewer from the shot. But
Hmm.
if you got down low and got at the angle that you mentioned, then the viewer feels like they're there,
Hmm.
and they feel like they're in the shot, all just from a different angle. So that totally makes sense. So oh, this is a another one. This is by Turner here. This is I like this shot as well. I think this is supposed to be like a Murder She Wrote thing, but you got Batman in the background. So this is a good one. I do like the lighting on this one, particularly because you just see the silhouette of Batman. I mean, he's
Hmm.
hiding in that shadows there,
Yeah.
and then you know, because of the flashlight. I mean, I totally get it. You have the flashlight shining on there.
Hmm.
I would, I probably would have toned down the light on the woman in the foreground,
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
because it seems like there's light shining down on her, but
Right.
there's no shadow behind her.
So
So
yeah, I guess if you were going to do that, you would add another light, like casting. So that would make sense, right? Like you're saying, there is no shadow behind; it's actually in front.
right,
Also, to
right,
that same point, like you see the light, or is it? I don't know if that's a light or it looks like it's the moon, right? So if that's the moon,
yeah. It looks like
up,
there's maybe a street light behind there. Yeah.
um, so like it would have been like you could have added another light, so there's more rim lighting on Batman, like because it's
Hmm.
coming from directly behind, and
True.
then it would also maybe cast like a shadow coming down the stairs of him as well.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I can totally see that as well. Yeah, because it almost seems like, I mean, it makes sense for the light to be shining on the back of the head, uh,
Hmm.
but it seems like it might be like a street light, but considering the distance, it's like
Hmm.
that's way too far back
Yeah.
to casting that kind of light where it is. So it looks like there's maybe a light that's directly over him or something like that. So I'd say overall, it's good lighting for, well, I'll say just a good use of the lighting.
Hmm.
However, where the lights are placed, that's the thing that's kind of raising questions.
The one other thing that I would point out is the way that Batman is posed. Like it's easy to understand here what's going on with the scene. With like, okay, she's finding this person, the victim. Basically, see the knife, the
Mhm.
blood, with the blood. Nice touch, good storytelling there.
Yeah,
But the way that he's posed almost seems like he's after her. Like it's
right, right.
giving
That's
you
what
that, and it's like,
I think he actually put. We put the caption there for it. He was like, it seemed like he is going after her.
oh, okay, okay, okay,
so,
all
so
right,
yeah, that could be the thing there. So yeah, yeah, okay. So he said he had to say, okay,
okay,
so I had to like her more. Okay, yeah, yeah. You see, that's the thing. I can see that. I again, I probably would have played with the light a little more so that, because I do want the viewer to see her.
yeah.
So I would, I would have some light on her, but kind of get it to where maybe
You just
just a little
bounce
bit
a
of
light,
shadow over her hair and
right?
maybe get the face.
Also, like I guess if she's shining that flashlight onto that leg, there should be light coming, like rim lighting off of that leg
True.
too.
Yes.
So you,
Yes. Yes. That's true. So, yeah.
but,
But
but I like the environment, and there is good storytelling here. So
yeah. Yeah. That I'll definitely say you definitely did a good job. It's a good shot, and you definitely got the humor going. You know, it's really cool, really really cool. So that'll do it for what we have for our submitted photos. So the next thing we have is we're going to take a look at some other photos, but we're not critiquing these. These are just photos that were just submitted to the group, and so we're going to give it some time just to take a look at what was submitted for the show here. So let me go ahead and get this going, and we'll take a look. again with the humor. These guys are, I tell you, there's something else. So okay, that's a good one. I like it. Little sparks and everything, and that's some good lighting on that as well. You know what? Jesse, I think Jesse did this one, man. And you know what, Jesse, thank you for submitting this picture because he did two different ones. So this one was with his phone, and this one he did with his other camera, just so he could show that
Yeah.
you can still get good shots with your phone.
Yep.
So Jesse,
Yeah.
man, thank you for doing that, dude. That's much appreciated and much needed because there's people that we've talked to before that just they're kind of like, oh, I don't think I'll be that good because I'm only got my phone. But no, you can still get some really good shots, even with your phone. So it's
Yeah.
totally, we matter of fact, you and I, Johnny, we can attest to that because we used our phones for images for a while too. So
So yeah, started with the phone. Yeah. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, it's just what you know something when you start out something like that, it's like you got to use what you have available to you.
yeah. You use what you work with what you have until you can move on to something. But yeah, oh, see, Lou is just like I'm stuck with the phone. I'm good. So,
Hey, it works for him, man.
yeah. Oh yeah, this is another good one. I like this one. Oh, wow. Is he like playing the piano for the ballerina? Because yeah, absolutely, dude. Yeah, we definitely can just. I mean, just inspiration all around, and that's what I like about just having this community of all toy photographers. Is just we're all helping each other out, and people, the veterans, are able to help out the other folks that are just starting out. So yeah, because there's still people that I talk to that are just like, man, I didn't even know this was a thing. So
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. As big as it feels now, it's still very small. Like it's grown a
Yeah,
lot, but yeah, it's still very small.
yeah, yeah. It's true because I mean, you would think. I mean, because there's a number of people that are all part of the toy photography community, but they don't do any toy photography. They just like, just looking at the photos that are submitted and stuff. Because that actually, I do have one particular person who she's a big fan of my photography and everything, but she doesn't do toy photography. She just
Hmm.
likes looking at it.
Yeah.
She said in Wes's a while back, she said, I am only in this group because I like looking at your pictures. So she
Cool.
doesn't do any tour photography at all. So yeah, there's people out there that they don't do it. They just like to admire other people's work and everything. So yeah, but these are definitely some good shots that are. This was another good one. I really like this one.
I recognize that photo.
Yeah, it's like trying to change the tides on this thing. So yeah, I mean these are some good. Oh, wow,
Uh,
wow.
should my doc knock should be arriving tomorrow.
Oh really? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I have my I've been waiting for a while. I know some people already got theirs, but my Hot Toys Heath Ledger Joker is coming next week. So I am super excited about getting that.
Man, how many times have they done Heath Ledger Joker?
Way too many. I'll just say way too many.
I mean, but this one. What's up, Trevor? Is this one supposed to be like the definitive version?
It's I don't know. I think there's so many different versions that have been out there, and there are other companies that are like, "Hey, we're a new company, so what we're gonna do? We're gonna do a Heath Ledger Joker." And it's like
Oh yeah,
we already like seen this right now, and so it's been out so many times, and so many people have. There's been a couple of companies that have done a good job with it. So this particular one, Hot Toys is like, what we're gonna do? We're gonna do it again, and it's just. So I was like, whatever. So I don't have another one. So I
okay.
was like, okay, fine. I'll go ahead and I'll just get this one, and it'll be my only one. I used to have a Christian Bale Batman, and I got rid of that one. So I'm gonna get the new one now, where he has the other set that he comes with the full armory. So I'm gonna have my two, and then I'll be done. I don't need to have there's just so many Jokers. Now there's like so many Henry Cavill Supermans. It's like, yo, come on now. There's other stuff out there that y'all could do, and it's just we just keep seeing the same stuff. So it's like, whatever. It
Does
is what it
does this Joker that you're getting, does he have like rooted hair?
So they did make two different versions, and the version that I'm getting, I made a little mistake with it because I was late in getting the pre-order for it. So I got on the wait list, and then they sent me the message and said, "Hey, you have an opportunity to get the pre-order." And through my excitement, I just clicked on the thing and was like, "Pre-order, yes, got it."
Uh-huh.
And realized that I actually pre-ordered the sculpted hair and not the rooted hair. So I was like, oh my gosh, I totally messed up. But I was just like, it's all right. I got it. I'm not making a big deal about the whole thing. I may take a couple of pictures of it, but after I get my pictures, he's going on the shelf. Man, I'm like I said, I don't even have the figure yet, and I'm already exhausted with seeing Heath Ledger Joker.
Well,
I'm just like I'm through.
that's like that's what happens now, right? Like with every release of stuff, with the way the toy photography has grown, is like everybody gets the figure kind of around the same time, and everyone's excited
Yeah,
to shoot it, and then you go on your feed, and it's like you see one, then you see
right,
another, and then it's like you see like 4 or 5, and then at that point you're just like, it doesn't matter, like it almost doesn't matter how good the photo is. You're like, another one, like,
right, right.
so,
True.
I don't know. I
True.
feel like that's how I feel at times when I keep seeing the same thing over and over. Obviously, it's just, it kind of can take
Yeah,
away from certain photos because you're just like over it, right? You're just like, all right,
yeah,
another this, just
yep. And
so,
see, Big Crab gets it because I think that's what the whole thing is. It's like honestly, it almost kind of feels like we're the children stuck in the argument with the parents. Like they're arguing, like I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. And so that's what we're seeing. We're like seeing a bunch of different companies trying to outdo each other, but it's like, you could actually outdo the other person with another figure. Like
yeah, you could not do Joker.
it doesn't have to be that. It's like,
Yeah.
so I was just talking to someone else today about the new Hot Toys is doing a T1000
Uh,
figure, but another company is also doing their version of a T1000. So it's like, you guys, like, come on now. It's like the movie has been out like decades ago now. Do we really need to revisit this? Have we seen enough Arnold Schwarzenegger T800s? It's like,
yeah.
come on. It's just it's getting to be a whole lot. So yeah, it is what it is. But like I said, I'm getting mine, and he got okay. So he recently got hit. Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is because I got my Mondo Kratos, and then I think either one or two other companies decided to do their own version of Kratos, which look really good. I like them, but I'm like, I already got one.
Yeah.
Go ahead and for whoever doesn't have that one, go ahead. And I know they try and entice you with special accessories.
Yep.
This is an accessory, but it doesn't. I'm like, yeah, that's true. I like it. But the funny thing is I don't know if you ever heard of it, but there's I guess this would be a plug for them right now. But there's a site called Toy Anxiety, and Toy Anxiety sells. They have the full figure and then they piece it out.
Okay.
So you can get, just a
Get
number.
back.
Which is funny because Toy Anxiety is like figures falling apart. That's what that's what it is.
Okay.
But it's like, so if there's been plenty of times where I didn't want the figure, but I wanted a piece that came with the figure. So I was
Mhm.
able to just wait till they piece it out, and I just bought the piece, and I was like, I'm good. That's the only thing
Nice.
I needed. Like I have the Hot Toys Loki,
Okay.
the variant Loki, but he does not come with the baton they use
Mhm.
him, but the female Loki comes with one. So I waited until they pieced her out and then just bought the little thing, and I'm like, I'm good now.
Yeah.
So I don't need to buy a bunch of stuff.
That's a cool idea. Definitely for like the more hardcore collectors and fans
Yeah,
that want to keep
yeah.
it
Because I mean,
like
it's
Or
it's
if you
also good
need to
for like
break something, and then you're
yeah.
like, oh, I need just so that's perfect for that too. Like,
Yep. Yep. You get those replacement parts, just in case you buy from a company that doesn't have that extra stuff, you can buy the replacement parts for those things.
yeah,
So and then there's other stuff like, if I'm just looking for some just random pieces I can add for like my photos. I can
yeah,
find random stuff. So yeah, it totally helps to find companies that do that. Toy Anxiety is one of them. There's another one called Rattlesnake Toys. They also just sell just the pieces of figures and stuff. So yeah, it's always good to just just look for some random stuff with that. So yeah, man, thank you very much for joining us today, dude. It's definitely just a great honor to have you here on the show. Is there anything you got going on that you want to mention?
nothing right now, but soon. But yeah, thanks again for having me on. I don't know if for people that showed up last week think that was gonna be me. I apologize. That was my
Oh,
bad,
it's all
not
right.
Brian. I was he sent me. He was like, "Oh, I'll be sending the link in like a couple hours." I'm like, "What are you talking? Like, what's this guy talking about?" and then I realized like a couple hours later, I was like, "Oh, I'm a dummy." I was like, I committed to this like over a month ago, and I just like yeah. So, happy to jump on this week, and
Right.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. So thanks for having me.
Hey, dude, it's been a pleasure. I mean, because the funny thing is, starting this Toytography live has been a great reminder for me, because the main reason why Dan and I started the show was because Wednesdays is where we had our regular meetings to talk about what's going on with the Toytography magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And man, there was plenty of times where it's like we met every single Wednesday, but
Uh-huh.
sometimes on Wednesday I'd be like, "Hey, we supposed to meet today?" And it was just like, "Oh, that's right, we are. We supposed to." And then we try, "All right, I'm gonna be on in a few minutes." Then we trying to rush and we out doing all kind of stuff. So by starting the Toytography live, it's like now I know. Okay, Wednesday, I'm meeting up. So it's like it's been a great change for a reminder. So don't feel guilty at all. It's totally all right. So yeah. Oh, hey, Jesse, see, check it out, man. I definitely you'll find some cool stuff there. I mean, they have so
I
much
didn't know
stuff.
about that either, so I'm gonna look into
Yeah, matter of fact, so just to give you guys a heads up about that, I don't know if Rattlesnake Toys does it, but what Toy Anxiety does at least twice a year is they have a big sale on everything on the website.
it. Wow,
Uh,
cool.
Sometimes their stuff is like roughly about 40-45% off on everything on the site. So you can get like stuff super cheap
Yeah.
on there. And some of the stuff that they piece out will actually be like big pieces. Like there was a time where they pieced out the scout trooper on the speeder bike.
Wow.
So if you didn't want the trooper, but you just wanted the speeder bike, you
Oh
could
yeah.
totally jump on that. The Hot Toys Grogu set where it was like him and a bunch of different versions of him being a baby or whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want the whole set. I just wanted him wrapped up in the blanket.
Cool.
So I found they pieced him out. So I just grabbed one in the blanket and I just use him for my quill. So
Yeah.
he's holding them, swapping the blanket. So yeah, just little things like that you can find some good stuff on the site. So yeah, it definitely helps. And see that, yeah, exactly. When you're trying to kid bash or do stuff like that, man, it's all kinds of stuff. I've seen people go on there and grab those pieces and make their own custom Batman, combat Batman and stuff like that. There's all different kinds of stuff you can find on there. So yeah, Toy Anxiety, that's a nice little plug for you, man, because y'all.
Yeah.
So,
It definitely seems like a good resource for us collectors and stuff.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's a great site. You can find all kind. They do also sell figures like intact. You can buy the figure.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
buy the whole thing, or just wait for them to piece it out and stuff like that. I believe their store is located in Arizona, I think.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they're pretty quick when it comes to shipping and everything. So yeah, they're pretty cool. So but man, again, thank you very much for joining us. That's going to do it for us for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you'll know when we come up with our next episode. And again, If you guys have not signed up and you're interested in being a part of the Toytography challenge, you think you got some good photos, we're still taking. We still have a couple of spots left for that, so you guys definitely want to, see if you can get in, because like I said, it's gonna be something. That's all I'm gonna say. It's gonna be something. So thanks again for you guys for joining in, and we will see you guys next week.